to many. The land of milk and honey, as many term it. Mbarara. A home, virgin and fertile for business startups.
Yes, thank you very much. I welcome you to this another episode of the Startup Talk. I am Sankara Biaruhanga. Today I'm joined in by a very cool gentleman that you will need to find all the reasons to watch and find out what he does. I want to remind you that the Startup Talk is brought to you by Empower Youth in Technology, a local tech hub here in Barara, and Excel Hot Consult, an agribusiness incubator also here in Barara. We're going to go for this short break, and when we return, we get to understand what Jonah can do. Yes, thank you very much. Jonah, you're welcome to the Startup Talk. These days it's coronavirus, and that's how we can greet for now. But this person here could first understand who is this person we have today.
Thank you very much
Yes.
for having me on the show.
Okay?
My name is Jonah Kasinga.
Yes.
Jonah Kasinga is a software developer.
Software
Yeah,
developer.
software developer. I'm a graduate of computer science,
Wow.
majored in software development.
Computer science. That is which university?
Bara University of Science and Technology.
And there?
These are 7 years now down the road. Got done with school in 2013.
Wow. So right here we have a computer I would call Kagezi Munyo, and we will be understanding, because right here we need to understand that people like Jonah are meant to inspire people like me and you, especially of the same age bracket, to do business. Now, how does a computer, Kagezi Munyo, get into business? Jonah.
I don't do software development for fun. Along the way, I married it with business.
Okay.
So I do software for business, or something we usually call techno business.
Techno business.
Yes, techno business. That's technology plus business. You
Okay.
do technology for business. You develop software and then you sell off.
Wow.
Basically, software is all about coming up with real world solutions to make life a bit better, life at work, and generally making everything a bit easier.
I have a myth of perhaps very many parents out there that think technology actually is a wastage of time. I have had a parent ask a child that you actually did information technology to repair computers. Is that so, Jonah?
Not really. Actually, that is just a small basic of what someone would do in technology. It's actually not even technology. Repairs are not, they're almost not part of technology. You're taking care of what technology has brought on board. That's what repairs are all about.
So, like you say, you've come up with several softwares. That means you have clients, you have
Sure.
you have really earned out of the technology that many people think it is stopping at repairing computers. Perhaps this person could also want to know those particular qualities that one may need to bring, you call it marrying business to technology.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we could maybe start from how a Jonah identifies a particular problem and then solves it with technology, and it converts to money.
Basically, what we do in software, when we are developing these products, we don't develop for ourselves. We develop a product that we believe will change lives out there, something that people will accept and use.
While you earn, yeah?
Yeah, well, somehow you earn.
That is a social enterprise.
Like I said, I married software with business. I founded a company called Mavtech Planet.
Mavtech.
Yes, Mavtech Planet.
We actually seated right in front of it.
Yeah, so I founded Mavtech Planet a couple of years ago, and through Mavtech Planet, we've developed a good number of solutions in different sectors. We've developed solutions in education.
Okay.
For example, we've got a product called the Mavres. We've developed solutions in banking.
Let's first talk about a little bit about Mavres.
It helps schools automate that process of generating report cards, then also monitoring their finances.
Wow.
That whole thing of knowing who has paid fees and who hasn't, the money that has come in and the money that hasn't been recovered yet by the school. Basically, that whole thing.
So to begin with, schools,
Yeah, schools.
if you're watching, then this is a gentleman that you need to talk to. We're moving from that paper times to digital.
Yeah, sure. So we've done some work in the education sector. We've done some work in the banking sector. We have a product called Mavsol.
Mavsol.
Yes, Mavsol usually handles the savings of the clients in banking, savings, then the withdrawals, all those transactions, loan disbursements.
Do you have some clients already?
Yeah, a good number of them. A good number of them.
You could pick like 3
Uh,
for circles or
for SACCOs, we've got. Let me do a whole list of the clients. Maybe I could pick out 5.
maybe because of the time we could pick like 3. Maybe.
We pick 3.
Yes, yes.
All right. Schools, we've got Kabohe Secondary,
Kabohe Secondary.
We've got Chinoni High,
Chinoni.
We've got Ginger Progressive. That's their side of the equator. Our clients are spread all through.
Okay.
Yeah, they're spread all through.
Coming back to this financial system.
The financial system, we've got Bihari Trust Sacco. That's within Imbara Town.
Yes.
We've got Jisinga Sacco. That's deep in Kasese, in a place called Jisinga.
And that is what we are talking about. Building solutions that reach the right man at the base, because those are the people with money.
Yeah. I could do also something about medical. In medical, we have MavFarm. We've got Mavosa. Those two work hand in hand. MavFarm is strictly for pharmacies to monitor their sales, and then also the expenditures and the whole business.
Oh.
Mavosa is an upgraded bit of MavFarm. It will handle the whole clinic. Yeah, assuming the clinic has a section of a pharmacy or it doesn't. Yeah, so it will handle
sales and all that.
Yeah, it will handle the admissions of patients and that whole setup of a clinic.
Wow.
Yeah, we also have clients within that medical bit. Ruharo Mission Hospital is one of them.
Oh, that's a giant.
Yeah, Ruharo Mission Hospital is one of our clients in the medical bit. We've got Medcare is also another of our clients. Okay. Medcare is also in Imbara Town here. We've got Medq Pharmaceuticals.
Medq is also
it's a
giant
pharmacy.
Yes, yes.
It's also one of our clients. So those are some of the clients we've got in the medical bit.
Wow.
Yeah. So for now, we've tried to major in those different areas. Then we also do hotels.
Hotels, you have a system for hotels?
Yeah, sure. We also have a package for hotels. We've not left them out. Wherever there's a problem, we've always tried to show up.
Maybe this person watching could be one of those guys that want to understand how that operates. Perhaps it would help him. You never know what he does.
All right. The part of hotel, basically, we know the setup of hotel is restaurant, then maybe accommodation bit. They have the lodging facility, then other services like sauna, swimming pool, and other bigger services like hosting functions. Yeah, so basically what that package does, it has the part of ticketing, ordering and ticketing. Is who do the ordering of I want to give an item on the menu.
Perhaps a room.
Then also there is the part of the accommodation bit, room service is handled within it. Then all these other services. So you get to know how much you made from sauna, how much you made from maybe swimming, how much you made from accommodation, and how much you're making from the restaurant and bar.
Wow.
That is one package we've also had for the hotel industry.
And it's counting.
Yes, it is. It is. We believe it is changing lives because somehow the people appreciate.
Well, other products so far?
So in the education sector, we sat down and did a small kind of analysis, and we found out one thing. They didn't have some of these facilities. When we got interested in them further, we got to realize that even their performance somehow is not as balanced as these other people that we keep meeting in this.
Facilities like...
for example, there are people we would visit and we access them and they tell us we are still building a library.
Like, so that means actually they have little or no book at all.
They have just a handful of books and the books are squeezed somewhere in a certain corner, just where the secretary sits as you're getting into the administration offices. And, some would tell us, you see right now we are first channeling our resources to maybe build better labs. You see we have only one laboratory that is doing physics, chemistry, biology, all through. It's doing all that, and we are thinking maybe we first build other labs before we even think of maybe deploying some of your packages. So we looked at all that and we said, okay, fine. How do we partner with these people? How do we make sure that somehow we come up with a solution that will touch their lives and they somehow also benefit from the same facilities that these other people are benefiting from. Solution that would be cheaper for them to implement.
We want to hear that. Yes.
And that solution is the Brain Planet.
Brain Planet.
Yes.
I think before you talk about it, I have watched a short video about Brain Planet, and it caught my attention. Perhaps you could first view it, and Jonah will return with details.
Did you know that you can have school away from school? The Brain Planet got you sorted. We provide free online academic study materials from pre-primary to secondary level. Here is what to do. Visit www.thebrainplanet.com. Register with the Brain Planet as an individual or school. A school is eligible to open an account, create its own staff, allowing the teachers to upload learning content and examinations, leaving the system to do the assessment. You can still get this information as an individual free of charge. The Brain Planet, let the learning continue.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, Jonah, that content is interesting. How do we get all this done?
We provide content. We provide the academic kind of content in form of pamphlets, e-assignments. You access it and you're able to get these assignments. Then there are textbooks that those people are still struggling to maybe stock in their libraries and set up the library. We have an online library. Yes, you access those textbooks online. They're already available online. Then we've got a physical laboratory, also on the Brain Planet. Yeah, so what that laboratory does, it helps a learner to go in and do a practical with these subjects, maybe physics, chemistry, biology. Yeah. With the Brain Planet, we can have 5,000 people doing a practical at the same time, using our lab that exists on the Brain Planet. We can have our library that is available for use, and very many people will access that library at the same time.
Now, maybe before perhaps we go further. For example, we all remember that the schools we went to, mobile phones were not allowed to students.
That's true.
So, are we talking about schools setting up this system in their computer labs, perhaps, or they have other channels that these students could access and use the facility?
Currently, the way the Brain Planet exists, it's a resource on the internet.
Okay.
It's a resource on the internet. It runs on the internet so that everyone can access it from wherever they are, using a mobile phone, using a computer, using maybe a tablet or iPad.
Okay.
Now, this is how simple it is. About your issue of phones being stopped in schools and all that, the latest revision in the curriculum allows phones by that.
Phones with students?
Yes, today's senior ones, they can carry phones to school.
Okay.
And
My Chitagwenda people, I do not know if our schools are going to quickly allow this.
and gradually, that's where we are heading to. Yeah, technology is taking over, and the field of education is also getting together with technology to form what we call edutech. Yeah, so the trend is also being taken on in education, and at a certain time, I believe phones will be something that is acceptable in schools for everyone.
So now, apparently, when we do not have students carrying phones, how is the Brain Planet helping schools?
Helping schools. We have our users today. We've got the students themselves. They could access individually a self-study. We look at the Brain Planet as a companion to a learner somehow. Yeah, in case I want to carry out my own self-study, maybe to consult more, what our teachers would always say, for those who want to read more, yeah, the Brain Planet comes in. You can always take off some time, visit it,
So
and
maybe
access the content.
we could first understand the channels. Apart from the mobile phone, which other devices could I use to access this content?
The computers.
Computers, yeah.
And for now, again, you need an internet-enabled phone. That's for the first version of the Brain Planet.
Oh, so have you gone into printouts? You could print out this content and for our schools down there perhaps to access, because this is not only helping the students or pupils per se, teachers also need this.
Yeah, sure.
Teachers are lacking Okay, some teachers are lacking this content, and I find it an interesting tool. Though I don't know. So apparently, you need internet and
Yeah,
a
currently
mobile phone
you
and
need,
maybe a computer.
yeah, generally internet
So
and
schools, so
any device
schools.
that can run the internet can run on
Oh,
the
okay.
internet.
So schools with computer labs now can use the Brain Planet for kids to learn.
Yeah, they can actually they can use their computer lab now can also work as a physics lab. That's how interesting it
That is
is.
interesting.
Yeah. So beyond now using the computer lab just for computer lessons, maybe they can use it
You're talking about
to do the,
simulation, for example.
yes, to do actually the physics practicals also with it, because at times maybe the lab could be free. But again, after us coming up with this product, we gave feedback to some of those clients. So we're really deep. We told them, okay, look here, we have a solution.
Yes.
Do you think this could work for you people as you're trying to, as you're still trying to build the library and maybe the other laboratories? They said, okay, this looks good. It's interesting. But the problem is that we don't have internet access. They talked about something like that.
That is true.
We don't have internet access, and again, we don't have enough computers.
Yeah, but at least they're using phones.
Yeah, they said, okay, we have
Actually,
some
now
phones.
from UCC, 23M plus million. I mean, 23 million plus Ugandans are accessing mobile phones.
Yeah, sure. So they told us, our phones, some of them don't use internet, or they don't access internet. They showed us the phones, these ones that have buttons. Most of them don't access internet.
Yes.
So when we saw that, we thought of, okay, how best can we reach them again? They told us, okay, fine, we have phones. Most of our parents have phones, but they don't access internet. So we sat back as a team. How do we get a solution that now we get the brain planet down to these people who can't access the internet?
Okay.
And right now in our incubation center, we are trying to build a better version of the brain planet that will cater for those people as well.
Maybe sort of USSD codes.
Exactly. So something
So-
like you press star
Star-
131 hash. That now applies to all phones. It could
It's
still be a
21.
smartphone or a phone that is not a smartphone, and you will still access this content. So when you say star, when you press star maybe 147 hash, it will bring you prompts that you follow. Maybe it asks you for the school, the class, blah blah. Then you tell us the content you're interested in. So when
And
you
how
talk
do I receive the content on a small phone?
how do you receive the content on the small phone? One, some of these phones have memory cards. So we give you an option. If you've got a memory card and you're okay with storing the content on your memory card, very well, there's that option. If you're not okay with having the content on your memory card, our
Because
team,
now I'm wondering, memory card, for example, if it's a document, it's not going to open on that phone. Are we talking about recorded audios of this content?
our content is in form of text. We have documents, the text documents. We have those documents already. We've got the audio notes. We've got the video notes. Yeah, which
So you could actually transfer them to their memory cards, and instead of listening to Bam Sakata, the kid is listening to, for example, history,
yeah,
geography,
he's
biology.
actually listening to the reasons why Said transferred his capital from maybe Muscat to Zanzibar, something
Okay.
like that. Yeah, so it turns into a song. You see, the fact that it's very easy for us to get these songs in our brains, then we believe at the Brain Planet that if a child listen through their earphones, maybe to the reasons as to why Said transferred his capital, it will be easy for them to recall that. So we've got material in that kind of way. Now, if you don't have maybe a memory card, we are also looking at delivering these items in form of CD, DVD. Yeah, we have a whole DVD maybe of
someone
videos.
play, yeah. Instead of watching TV and just put in a CD and watch.
Yeah, you
that.
put in a CD and maybe you watch digestion, that whole process of digestion, how maybe food mixes in the mouth with saliva, down the gullet, till it.
Meanwhile, on the memory card, like you said, you could also put videos because at least small phones can also play that.
Yeah, sure. You can put them there. And then the most interesting thing is that when we give you this content, especially for these schools that we are trying to help out or partner with, when we give them this content, it's very easy for them to print it out. This content, we've tried so much to put into consideration what we call the intellectual property.
Yes.
We don't give out content that is not ours. Again, the content is generated from the team of educationists who form the brain planet.
Maybe that could first bring us to uh, trying to understand, because there's that risk of you're going. We used to call it katua,
Yeah,
if you could remember, giving wrong information, wrong academic information on maybe a particular subject or something.
yeah,
So that could bring me to the team, because you have a computer background.
yeah, sure.
How should we convince this person that actually your content is fit for his kid?
Well, I've got computing background, and mainly my area of interest is software. That's
Yes.
what I specialized in, and it's what
And now
I've
we're
been
talking
doing.
about social studies,
Yeah.
mathematics,
And
English.
I studied some of these things, not all of them. There are subjects I even never did in school. The kids do them today. Yeah. So when we thought of this idea of the brain planet, when we moved out there and saw people suffering, and we thought maybe we could do something for them
Yes.
in the education sector. So we moved around schools. Already we had schools which had partnered with us in the earlier product I mentioned called the Mavericks, the one that works in schools. So we looked around in those schools. We said, okay, fine. We kept on sampling. We said, okay, fine. This school usually does so well in history. This school usually does so well maybe in English. This one does so well in social studies.
Okay.
How about if we tapped into that? Let's pick one teacher from here and convince him to be part of the team. Let's pick one teacher of history from this side, make him part of the team. Let's make this physics teacher maybe part of them. We kept on requesting them and talking to them, trying to explain to them how good this whole thing is. We explained to them how they would benefit, how much they would also be helping out there.
So teachers are actually the ones building this content.
Yeah, sure. So
Ugandan teachers have issues with payments. How are you handling that?
yeah, so
Are you paying them?
we brought them on board. The first bit, when we were coming up with the first bit of the info that we're going to keep working with, one thing we kept on emphasizing is that if you're bringing content to us, or if you are going to add content to the Brain Planet,
Yes.
it must be our content. The content must be our content.
Our content meaning
It must be
Uganda.
not necessarily Uganda. It must be the content that teacher X has produced.
Has built.
Yes. You're not going to get
Copy
someone
and paste.
copy and paste or get someone's textbook and bring it to us so that we sell it out, or like we give it out to people to use. Yeah, no. We
I
won't
think
do that.
then, Jonah, you need to tell us that those teachers actually are pros on what they are doing.
Yeah, yes they
Who
are.
reviews? I mean, who really confirms that what they're actually putting out is the best content? Have
This
you thought about that?
Yeah, sure. We thought about that already. You asked me about how we pay them, and we know how this whole thing works. Someone once in a while will have facilitate each other. The Brain Planet being a product of MavTech Planet, as a company existed first, so somehow it kept on pushing it, and yeah, it would always invest in the Brain Planet to see that it really gets on its feet.
Now, taking you back to the problems of the teachers, I think while I was in my primary school, this teacher would gather over 100 books for
Yeah, sure.
marking, exercise.
Yeah.
And she's teaching more than 3 classes. And then now, if you're part-timing, that means you have a hustle of marking these things.
Actually,
Does Brain Planet capture this?
what is interesting is that when we met some of the teachers, we kept on looking for them, and somehow we've become friends along the way, and we've become family. So once in a while we visit them, and when you visit a teacher, you can reach his place, and you might think you're in a bookstore. Piles of books are littered all over. He's having this, and he has to mark this, mark that, mark that, mark that. So we looked at all that, and we asked some of them, okay, how many students are these? One of them told us, I teach over 100 students, and he laughed. He said it with a smile. We hustle for this money. So we thought of how about
Can you imagine marking 100 books
and
for 3 classes
yeah,
and perhaps of 5 schools?
and that was not the only class. He had other schools with part-time in, and remember exams were also setting in.
Yes.
So we asked him, how are you trying to manage? So he told us, now what happens is that I limit the exercises I give. I limit the exercises I give so that if I was supposed to give an exercise maybe at the end of each topic, no, I'll give a test. I wait for the test so that I only mark the students. Somehow I'm trying to play smart so that somehow I also survive, because I have to survive, but again I don't have to break myself down. When when they told us that, we found out, okay, on our technical end, we first digested it and realized it's a disservice to the student out there. If he's not going to undergo continuous assessment, it's a disservice to him in the long run. And when it's a disservice to the student, then it will be a disservice to the parent who invests in the money.
Because you take my book, spend 3 days there, I do not know if what I did is right, and for day schooling, I'm going home, I have other things that
and at times you bring back the books, and since you didn't back, remember after staying with them for 3 weeks, you say, let us exchange books.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you exchange, every student gets another's book, then you give corrections on the blackboard as fellow students are marking.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's that funny, and when they said that to us, we thought of, okay, how about if the Brain Planet does this? So the Brain Planet thought of a module, and within it we have the marking module, assessment. An assignment is posted, and whoever visits the Brain Planet accesses this assignment, they do it, and they are marked instantly. Once they finish, they are marked, and the results are given to them. It doesn't take long.
So what you're saying is that teacher Kakoza of P3 at Mbarara Mixed Primary School will be able to set exercise. These kids run to the computer library, work on this exercise, and immediately the system marks.
Yes, it marks. It marks. For him, what he does, he only sets the questions and the answers, and he stops at that.
Yes.
Then the learners do the exam. Once they are done with the exam, whoever finishes is marked instantly.
Wow.
Whoever does the exercise is marked instantly. So we realize they could also save some time in that kind of way. And it will encourage them to give more exercises at the end of each topic. Yeah, hence improving the whole learning process and trying to make it a bit better for the student, also for the teacher, and then for the parent in the long run.
Wow, you watching need to understand that what Mr. Jonah is talking about is already happening in countries that we fancy. We could talk about America, we could talk about China, we could talk about India. They had a start. There is always a start. Our schools can actually transform from what we have currently to the digital way and easier way and most effective. Now, talking about it being effective, I think an average Ugandan having his kid going to school have around 3 problems. One could be resources. I'm talking about this mutual, because you know the education has that triangle of the teacher,
The parent and the student.
the parent, and the pupil, and all corners support each other. So, particularly talking about that, the parent has these handcuffs. I think, to my opinion, one, resources to teach this kid. Three, the accountability that, okay, well, I might not be able to teach him, but I am paying my money to a school X to teach this kid, but how am I sure that he's actually getting what he's supposed to get? That accountability. And then also the self assessment, like me as a parent, can I assess my child in terms of his academic niche, or that. So we could now understand how does the Brain Planet help, particularly the parent, to do the other three for his child.
All right, like you mentioned, that whole education triangle has the parent on one end, the student or pupil on one end, then the instructor or teacher on the other end.
Yes.
A triangle is a three-sided shape, according to basic geometry. Three-sided shape with all corners touched, so you can't split it open from
Yes.
any one end. Well, this end, when we help the teacher, then the parent gets helped in the long run. When we help the student, the teacher is helped.
I'm talking about now the direct help.
Let's look at the parent side.
Yes.
When these learners go back home, maybe the day scholars, or maybe during school breaks, we have those school breaks that usually occur. The holidays, yeah, mainly those are some of the periods when the child is totally home. Most of these learners are a bit away from their teachers, and the teachers will always say, "Okay, fine, parents are part of us. Yeah, you can't leave the teaching to teachers alone." So somehow during these breaks, it's parents that take over. The whole responsibility is left to the parent, or majority of the responsibility, the biggest bit of the responsibility will be left to the parent to ensure that this boy is indeed doing work that was given to him. If any work was given to him as he or she was, as he was reporting, actually, he was reporting back home from school. So if work was given to him, then the parent has to see that they've indeed done the work.
Yes.
If work
Right
wasn't
there.
if work wasn't given to him, then the parent will look through maybe the report card that was given to the learner at the end of maybe the term and see, okay, fine, my learner is my little boy or little girl is doing maybe poorly in maybe physics, biology, maybe history. Yeah.
But at
Maybe
this time, he cannot account
And-
for what anyway resulted into
yeah,
this.
you can't account for this, and maybe what I could do, maybe let me get him a teacher during this period. Maybe we used to call that
Coaching,
coaching.
yes,
We used to
yes.
call that coaching. So your parent would pay some money to some teacher, and you would always go there during the day. They give you assignments. Now the brain planet is trying to do that. This parent could instead sit down and say, okay, fine. How about I bring that content down to my child? So this time the child will have assignments on a daily, and the parent this side will be able to monitor and know that today my little boy or little girl logged in, accessed this work, did these assignments, and this is what happened, or these were the results.
Yes.
That information is being relayed to the parent so that the parent can also monitor. So that tomorrow when the boy again comes back with poor results in biology, maybe it's because the boy wasn't doing assignments. Maybe the problem isn't entirely on the teacher. It's because the boy wasn't doing the assignments. So if we're able to check and put those checks, and we're able to know that the boy wasn't doing assignments, so the parent will know what to do next. Maybe it will be a bit harder on the boy. Yeah. So that is something that will help the parent maybe also in the long run. And this is being done in a very easy way. School is being brought at home, to their sitting room, to their bedroom, to the dining room. We have a tagline at the Brain Planet. We say, let the learning continue. That is what we keep saying. Let the learning continue.
At every other time.
Wherever you are, let the learning continue. Nothing should stop learning. Nothing should. So whether you're home, whether you're in the sitting room, whether you're in the farm,
Yes.
the learning should continue for as long as you have that gadget.
Instead of weeding while listening to Bam Sakata, let me listen to biology.
Biology. You could be listening to ecology, for example. It's a very interesting topic in biology. You could be listening to something like that. You could be listening to the very interesting things to listen to. At times, I would read them just for fun. These literature books.
Okay.
Take some time and listen to them. They are very good.
Wow.
They are very good. So all that, when all that is being relayed to them, it's trying to ensure that our mission goes on, making sure that learning has to continue. Let the learning continue. That is something we keep saying at the Brain Planet.
Well, thank you very much, Jonah. And well, before we go for a short break, have anyone used the Brain Planet before? Do you have some clients for this plan or so far?
Yes, they have. And they are still using, and each day more are coming on board. More are coming on board, and we are some
Could you
of...
pick numbers so we could?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We actually carry out to test impact, yeah, and to also really see are we really taking the direction we are meant to take. We keep checking these numbers, and averagely, on a daily, we keep checking how many visits we have to the planet on a
Yes.
daily, for example.
Yes.
For example, averagely, we don't get less than 300 people visiting the Brain Planet.
That is
Averagely, per day.
per day.
Yes, per day. Not less than 300. So the numbers could fluctuate. There are days when we've learned, by the way, that on weekend, there are more people visiting the Brain Planet. For example, on weekend, we can have 700, 800.
So are you able to track if they visit via mobile? Or
Yes. Via mobile, we have those statistics. They show us mobile, maybe PC, iPad, and tab. Yeah, and over 70% are using mobile.
Oh,
Yeah, over 70% are using mobile devices.
wow.
And we're also breaking down we are actually working on all breaking down so that it tells us the exact points where those people are accessing from. Yeah, we don't want again to see that it's only the people in town who are accessing this. Again, we want to be touching the people who want to touch. So we again breaking that down, want to see which people are really accessing our product. Is it from the villages alone or from towns alone? So that it's spread out and this quality content can go out to everyone who's out there.
Wow, thank you very much. We are still with Jonah Kasinga. However, let's go for a short break, and when we return, we get to understand how this young gentleman is able to achieve this.
Uri omuhingi kandi uruhire kwibwa bakayungirizi abari kuguraho ebihingwa byawe aha mihendo mike munonga okora n'amaani oyihamu kakye waba nokimanya ngu hariho omuringo guri kubaasa kumaraho ebi byona kandi nkwanjurire Let's Farm App. Egi n'enkora ya tekinologiya eri kukuyamba kuguza ebihingwa byawe aha beeyi y'akatare ori kukozesa esimu yawe nari karimagezi hoona hori eshaaha yoona obaase kwikiriza ebirooto byawe otunguuke obwo ori kubiikira nyensya. Yegiita aha nkora egi etari y'okushashurirwa leero yegiita aha bahingi bagyenzi bawe abahingisa abari kuguza embibo z'omutindo hamwe n'abari kuha abahingi obuyambi bwa sente. Obwa hati twegiiteho ori kurabira ahari www.letsfarmapp.com ninga Facebook eya Let's Farm App narishi otere ningo sindike obutumwa ahari WhatsApp number noti 393 25 26 5 note.
Yes, thank you very much. I welcome you from that short break. Right here, we still have Jonah Kasinga, graduated in
2013.
2013, and please, he has made tremendous work from SACCO and banking softwares to pharmacy softwares to school softwares, and now looking at a multi-billion project in his terms. We want to wonder how he is able to manage this because Jonah, the most problem. You, for example, you could be having people you graduated with, and up to now, if you reach them and talk to them about how about you start a business, they will perhaps tell you how it is hard. They will not have capital. Even if they had, they are not going to sustain. Or perhaps you have friends that started at that time, and apparently it's not working out. They have closed out. Businesses are not. Maybe to understand, yes, you graduated in 2013, but
Got done in 2013, graduated in 2014.
Oh, yeah. You graduated in 2014.
Yeah.
So when do you start the business?
I began making money from software as well as university when I was in second year. Yeah, that's way back in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was okay. Sort of freelancing.
Yeah.
This.
So freelancing, I would work
Yes.
as me. Then I get gigs here and there. I get some small money off.
How have you really maneuvered from that time? Today is 2020, and you're still counting, and colleagues are actually saying things are not working out.
All right. First of all, I was doing what I love. Software is something
Wow.
I fell in love with,
Wow.
and
Do what you love.
and one thing I kept on telling myself, and I keep telling people out there, don't wait for a lot of money; it will not come. Start with what you have. Start with what you have.
Okay.
Then, when you're starting again with what you have, you don't say now the little money I have in Ibar, I need to first get transport. I go to Kampala and start from there. No, start from where you are.
So you impact where you are, and then other people, other places are watching, and you're able to. Because I think it's a question of the how you keep enlarging your
Yes.
gap.
So start from where you are and with what you have. Or you could even change it again the other way around. Start
The
with what
political
you have.
man,
Start with what you have and where you are.
The political man, Kenya's political man, called PL Lumumba, is quoted saying, "If you're told to count the soil, you start from where you're standing."
Yes, exactly.
And that is exactly what you're doing.
Exactly. Yes. You begin from where you're standing. Begin from where you're standing.
So how do you sustain now? How have you sustained?
So whatever we do, give it our best shot. Yeah. So the same people would give us business for the marvelous would keep telling us more problems. They'll tell us, I have a pharmacy and I can't keep stock. Isn't there any way you can get a product for me? Somehow it led us to develop the Malfa. So we again found the same people again having friends.
That's the power of referrals,
Yeah,
right?
we actually call that referrals. Yeah, the same people had friends who subscribed to different banking institutions, and they would tell us, now we have problems with our client transactions and all that. Can't you come and see if you can do something for us? Then
So you
somehow,
find someone who you worked on perhaps a year ago is connecting you to this. I have a friend of mine who usually tells me life connects dots backwards. You find yourself today, you're getting, I call it a gig, from someone perhaps you worked on last year, but
yeah, that
maybe
is
because he's going to recommend you his most recommendable work, you find yourself earning, and that way you sustain yourself.
yeah, that is true. Actually, most of the business we get is through referrals from the clients that we already have. So you find one client either comes back as a returning client or links you to three other clients who will also link you to five others. So it forms a whole tree at the end of the day.
So at that point, perhaps we tell this person that is the same way you were those days, thinking about ideas. I can start my thing. I can do this. And while doing that, you are receiving people that wanted freelance services. And what you did was to make them perfect.
Yeah,
You
sure.
make sure you leave no mistakes. Perhaps this could understand that that is what it takes, because what you're doing today and is not per se formal could lead to your formality in the nearby future, and that is why you need to think about starting a business. Wow. So, Jonah, because it can never be an easy ride, it can never be a straight line. There are corners, it's a bumpy ride. Have you faced some challenges?
Very many, very many. At first, I thought, being of computing background, first of all, and software, that whole thing. One thing that would always run into my mind, if I get my laptop and maybe hide in the bedroom, sit, connect my computer to the internet and develop a product, go out there and meet a client, then I can survive. However, along the way, I started meeting certain challenges. For example, I would develop, run to the field, meet some people. Until I started meeting people would ask me, but where is your office? Then I realized, okay, I need an office. We shall not deal with you for as long as you don't have an office. Already now that was coming in, I didn't have an office. I felt, since for me, I felt, oh, this is software. It is intangible. I can do it even from home. Yeah.
And that is what that's the mistake we're making.
Yeah. So I said, okay, fine. Means I need an office. So somehow I quickly set up an office. And then one day I was going to get there's a deal I was chasing. Quite a good deal. Quite a good deal. Yeah, then I was locked out of the deal. They told me, no,
Just
we
because-
need your certificate of incorporation. Bring a duplicate of the certificate of incorporation. We need to see whether you pay tax before we can deal with you.
Now, this is, I think, at this point, we need to educate this person that actually the business, the informal business that you're running, is at risk of facing what Mr. Jonah faced at first. That you're going to land on what he terms as a big deal, a good deal, and you'll be turned down because your business is not incorporated. URSB here in Balada can actually do that easily. How are you running this? Because I mean, meanwhile, as all this happens, the money you inject is the one you're getting from the freelance side.
Yeah, but
Because one wonders really. There's that animal called capital.
yes, is
How
that
are
animal?
you?
This is what they call capital. But if we really broke that down, the problem is that we keep drawing a direct link between capital and money. It's not entirely money. My brain is also capital, by the way.
Wow.
For as long as I have the brain and maybe I have people to work with me or to help me out, that bit of the capital is sorted by that. Yeah, I already have that bit. It could also still help out. However, I talked about us starting with what we have. I talked about us starting with what we have and from where we are.
That is really
This
very
is
much
how
interesting.
this is how I kept on doing it. For example, I looked at how my product could reach maybe a bigger population. I started using available resources. I realized I was in more than 30 WhatsApp groups, for example. I realized I had more than 4,000 people as friends on Facebook. I realized I had more than 20 people whom I know in real life. More than
I'm
20.
quite sure you are in those number of WhatsApp groups he is talking about. You're socializing with this kind of groups he's talking about.
So one thing that ran through my mind one day was that,
Hmm.
about if each day I told 20 people about what I do, and after telling them, if they are my close friends, how about I request them
To tell.
to tell more people about that? And in turn also request them to request their other friends who might not be my direct friends. Request them as well to tell other people that this is what a friend of ours is doing.
Power of persuasion. You.
Yes. So when I would tell, for example, if I would share a post through the WhatsApp groups, I still do that by the way up to now. I've not yet thrown it away. Do the same on social media. These are social media platforms like Facebook. Put up a post, share it. Now this is being done by the at a very minimal cost. I only need to have some data bundles on phone to do that. So if I have some data bundles on phone, design something simple, a bit creative, telling people what I do, post it, and maybe share it to different people. So you realize that within 1 day or 2 days, I've reached more than 900 people with a single post. Now I will have spent less than 100 MBs to let more than 900 people know that. Less than 100 MBs. Today, that's about 1,000 shillings that will have been spent on data bundles. About 1,000. So I'll have spent about 1,000 shillings to advertise to more than 900 people. As simple as that. So I will have started with what I have. Of course, there's another bit of using radio, TV, but
But that
as a
is at a
startup,
certain
yeah,
level.
when I was just starting, it was a bit hard for me. Yeah. Today, somehow, we can get in some radio ads. We can partner with some radio somehow. Yeah, because along the way, some of them
But
have become our clients and friends. But at the real start, it was really difficult.
and I have read about the traditional advertising mechanisms, the radios, TVs, and other channels you could talk about, like newspapers. And for startups, it is prudent to note that, as Jonah says, before we actually get on the radio, at least let's have a number of people that have heard about the product before. Because if this person is going to hear or listen to your content of the business for the very first time, perhaps is going to ask a neighbor, and it would be very, very good if this neighbor is going to say, yeah, I've heard about this. Now, Jonah says the capital that we actually talk about is not limited to money. The skills he had allowed him to freelance, and in return, he could earn some little money. And it's this money that he didn't waste, but rather put to good use, and started MavTech. And MavTech is now giving birth to the Brain Planet. Thank you very much, Jonah. We're going for a short break, and when we return, we understand, is he not going to cross in the next 2 years? Yes, thank you very much. Once again, I welcome you back from that short break. And now, Jonah, we could understand. Are you really not going to close in the next 2 years? Just like the colleagues you had that started in 2016 and today they are not around. Shall we see the brain planet in 2022?
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. Now, one assurance I can always give you is that we've been there, we are here, and we shall always be
So
there.
how shall you be always there?
That's one assurance I can always give
Yes.
you. That for as long as someone is out there and they work with information, then they have our money at Mavtech Planet.
And you need to go
Yeah,
there and get
yeah.
that money.
And we get it. In short, everyone is a partner. Everyone can actually benefit from our services. I'll give you an example of the brain planet. Here is how we've been surviving and how we hope to continue surviving and how we are surviving today. We pick subscriptions, for example. We've got content on the brain planet that is free out there. Yeah, you can go and access the assignments, download them, and go through them. However, if you need that kind of consultation, you need to use our lab for practical. For example,
Okay?
you need to you need to actually submit queries. Maybe you're stuck somewhere and you need support. You need special attention in form of, I need my content every week, maybe delivered to me in my inbox or in my client area of the planet. Then we charge you a small fee. This fee is charged to students, for example, 10,000 students or parents. You pay 10,000 a month only. Yeah. Now, when you pay that fee, then you can use the lab, for example. You can take the online exam. You can access our examination room, and you're marked. Then you can also, these examinations, by the way, are at the end of every topic in all these subjects. Then you can also consult. There's a tutor out there to help you. Then you can do the online coaching. All that is being done within the Brain Planet at only 10,000. So that's one of the ways in which we are adding. We've got schools also subscribing to us. Now, there are those schools that will always feel, okay, our teachers maybe, we don't want to stress them marking, maybe, at the end of every topic. Maybe let them only mark mid-term and end of term exams. But end of term, end of topic exercises, no. Those schools that feel we want our learners to keep accessing these library resources anytime. Want our learners to maybe access the labs anytime. Because some schools, by the way, use the labs for teaching, so they can't be open to everyone every time. But somehow, if they access the computer lab or a certain resource center that has the computers, they can always access the labs, especially for the candidate classes. So such schools also subscribe with us, and we bill them also a small fee, only 12,000.
12,000.
Yes, per student for a term.
Okay.
Yeah, per student for a term. And to us, a term means the time you're at school and that break. That break that actually extends after school. For example, first term holidays. Yeah, that break is part of the term. So a school could subscribe and have their learners introduced in there in the Brain Planet. And even when they go home,
Yes.
the learners keep on getting the assignments and the learning process continues, which is of course consistent with our tagline of let the learning continue. So
Okay.
still the learning process will continue. That is through subscriptions, and that's how we intend to survive through subscriptions. Then we've thought of a bookstore, an online bookstore. Now that we have all these schools, all these students
Yes.
in one place. We've got one location where whoever has a quest for knowledge can come and tap into that knowledge, can come and meet other brains on the same platform. How about if we give them an extra resource? What if they need a textbook? So we are considering that section of the online bookstore.
So me who has written a book, for example, of a particular maybe subject or
Exactly.
class, I would subscribe and you list my book there.
Yes. Actually,
You get success.
you won't subscribe to list the book. You only sign up and you tell us who you are. You post your book.
You upload.
Yes, you upload the book. Then, but the book must be yours. We must be sure it's yours.
Authentic.
Yes, we go through certain checks. We require you to submit certain information to edit show us and prove to us that it's yours.
Wow.
Then we also have the online seminars for schools. Yeah, there are those schools that would love maybe to have a seminar with other schools that are totally far away, and maybe it would be costly for them to travel and stay there maybe for 3 days. Yeah, for example, if I'm in Chisoro, then it's difficult to go to Gulu for maybe a seminar. It's hard. It's hard for me to transport my learners in a bus, fuel it, and transport them to Gulu for maybe a 3-day seminar. It would be a bit challenging for me.
And of course, you're prone to accidents.
Yeah, with accidents. Then that fatigue, then maybe I've got to have more teachers on board so that they control these learners when we are out there. All that, all those risks. So we said no. How about you remain in Chisoro and the person in Gulu also stays in Gulu? But through the Brain Planet, we can allow you have a seminar.
Wow.
Can
That
allow you
is
have a
very
seminar.
much
So
interesting.
again, for a small fee, those people can keep us surviving. Then we have talked about that bit of the coaching. It's also part of the ways in which we are going to keep surviving, or we are surviving actually within the Brain Planet.
Wow, interesting. So, Jonah, as we conclude this, this person watching here could be having interest in starting his own business with much passion, the same way you had it that time. But perhaps there's something that has not triggered his start. What would you tell this person?
Whoever is still considering to start, then one thing I can tell them is that you're late. The best time to start was years ago. The
Okay.
second best time is now. So immediately after the video, you can start. And start with what you have and start from where you are.
Well, he says you're late, but at least you're not late. That perhaps you could start today and start with what you have.
Yeah, it's not too late.
Okay.
Yeah, the best time is some years ago. Second best time is now.
Wow. And minutes ago, he put it up that the way he started was to start with what he had, approach people, let people understand what he does, use friends. Friends will also get their friends, and at the end of the day, the business was paying him in return. But the most important bit is that once he started earning from his skills and time and what he put, he didn't waste this money, but rather thought of investing it in a business that he shares vision with. And that is why we say that the startup talk is meant to trigger your mind, trigger the spirit in you, the entrepreneurial spirit in you. Please start. And Jonah says it is his startup, his story, proudly brought to you by Empower Youth in Technology, the local tech hub, and Excel Hot Consult, an agribusiness incubator also here in Barara. The startup talk is here for you and me. Thank you very much.